So this week we're talking about forgiveness. Sunday comes, Jason will preach on forgiveness. As we did last week, I'd like to find a story. I'd like to find teaching. I'd like to find some poetry, all about the topic that we're talking about. The story that comes to my mind is Joseph and his brothers. Of course, you remember the story of Joseph, how he had dreams. His father gave him a favored position. Scripture says it gave him a coat. His father gave him a coat of many colors, and that signified being recognized as the main heir of his father's goods. And his brothers, 10 of whom were older than he, threw him into a pit. One of them said, let's throw him in a pit and leave him there, let him die. And the oldest was actually going to come back and rescue him when he was left alone. But before he could do that, he was sold by the other 9 brothers in slavery to a slave caravan that was moving down to Egypt. And you know the story, how Joseph got to Egypt and rose to prominence and eventually became the second administrator in Egypt after Pharaoh. Joseph's brothers went to Egypt to find land during the 7-year drought that took place. We actually have records of several droughts, not just 7 years, but quite a long period of time in that whole area around this time. Now, everything was fine. Joseph told his brothers who he was, called his father down. The whole Israelite family went to live in Egypt, and then his father died. And so we see in Genesis chapter 50, verse 15, when Joseph's brothers saw that their father was dead, they said, what if Joseph holds a grudge against us and pays us back for all the wrongs that we did to him? And so they sent word to Joseph saying, your father left these instructions before he died. This is what you say to Joseph. I ask you to forgive your brothers the sins and the wrongs they committed in treating you so badly. Now please forgive the sins of your servants, of the God of your fathers. When the message came to Joseph, Joseph cried, he wept. His brothers then came and threw themselves before him. They said, we're your slaves. But Joseph said to them, don't be afraid. Am I in the place of God? You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. So then, don't be afraid. I'll provide for you and your children. He reassured them and he spoke kindly to them. What stands out to me here is that Joseph had every right to be angry with his brothers. They had sold him for money in slavery. And yet, Joseph had a view of the big picture. So when it came time to forgive, it was easy for Joseph to forgive. He said to his brothers, you may have intended this for bad. God intended it for good. When we have someone who has wronged us, we need to have that big picture in our mind as well. Forgiveness comes easier when we see how what has happened fits into God's greater plan for our life. So get the big picture today. If there's someone who's done you wrong, ask God, what is it that I need to learn from this? Get the big picture. I look forward to talking to you tomorrow.